Recording.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Impressive.
Look, I'm tired.
Yeah, but you kept the count.
I did. I'm a professional. Hello and welcome to Radio Free Nintendo. I don't remember what episode this is. I'll look it up in a second.
It's 72?
Sure. It's April 25th, 2024. I'm James Jones. That was Sean Lindemann.
Hey.
And
hey, good to be here.
Also, Guillaume Vayette is here.
Hello.
Greg Leahy is not here because it's draft day. It's draft day. The actual NFL draft, not the movie.
I was right. It was it's 872.
There you go.
Look
Good job,
at me.
John. Good job, John. So, John, what did the Falcons do?
The Falcons drafted Michael Penix Jr., which I am flabbergasted at, seeing as they just signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million deal. But, hey.
Which is also worth being flabbergasted at.
Yeah, which I'm also flabbergasted at, but I don't know. That's pretty much all they... but, why they would do that and then draft a quarterback, I don't know. But here we are.
So, I just got back from Atlanta today for work. And coming up the escalator in Hartfield-Jackson, there is a big banner. It was those really long elevator halls or escalator halls.
Yeah.
And of the Falcons starting offense on a big poster, and right in the middle was Kirk Cousins, and somehow I had missed this news, and I'm like, oh no. Oh, that's a bad Photoshop. Why would you put Kirk Cousins in there? And then I Googled it and went, oh no. It's worse than a bad Photoshop. It's reality.
It is reality. Yeah.
So if you
look at the options that they had, it makes sense. They had no options, right?
Sure.
So overpaying for him, that makes sense to me. But then turning around and drafting but common sense would dictate that since you just paid that much for a starting quarterback, that you would not draft a quarterback with your first round pick. But then they turn around and draft a quarterback that I guess they probably could have made into their starter if they wouldn't have signed Kirk Cousins. It's just very weird. But anyways.
Yep. So right now, the face of Atlanta's airport, the first smiling face that meets you is Kirk Cousins.
Nice.
Stepping off the SkyTrain.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to talk about some news that happened this week. So, if you know the answer, just say you know. Don't shout it out. Do you gentlemen know what games came to the Switch online service this week?
Yeah, I do.
John?
No, I seem to have missed this.
All right, so don't look it up. These are N64 games.
Okay.
I'm going to give you, I'll give you two guesses, and then I'll start giving you some hints. N64 games we didn't already have.
Okay. Yeah.
One of them is very funny.
Is it like Quest 64?
No, it's not that funny.
Ah, damn it. Superman 64?
I think we already have Quest 64 too. No, not Super 64. No, we're never getting that. We're never getting that. Warner Brothers will never.
They'll delete it forever and write it off before re-releasing it.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so both of these were published by Acclaim back on the N64.
All right.
And are kind of platformy in a way, I guess, but not really.
Is one of them like Gex?
It might be worse than Gex. It's sub-Gex. We are in the territory of Iggy's Wreckin' Balls.
So this is not one of those weird, secret classics that people, can't shut up about? Okay.
No, the only reason anybody remembers Iggy's Wreckin' Balls is because it's called Iggy's Wreckin' Balls.
Sure.
The other one is Extreme G, which people like a bit, I guess.
It was good for the time period. I don't know how it would hold up now. I think it's like really that. I think the reason why people like it so much is because everybody at that time was clamoring for something that was equivalent to Wipeout, which was really big at that time, and it's a decent version of that.
Yep. I didn't have an N64, so I've never played it. I've never even really seen it played, but I remember, I think, people saying that the first one, which this is, was kind of slow. People wish it were faster, and the sequels fixed that. So why wouldn't just get the sequels directly? I don't know. Is this going to be a Castlevania The Adventure situation all over again?
Maybe we'll get the unreleased sequel to Iggy's Wrecking Balls while we're at it.
Ooh.
Iggy's Wrecked Balls.
Well, that's our show for this week.
The apostrophe S, though, is doing a lot of work. Because does Iggy own the balls that are wrecking stuff, or is Iggy in the process of wrecking balls, spelled RECKIN apostrophe?
I would hope that he would be wrecking balls. Do we know if Iggy is male or female?
Iggy is a ball. All right. Genderless.
I don't know if that answers my question. But
so he is wrecking ball. It's missing the article.
Oh, so this is just bad grammar. It should be Iggy is a wrecking ball.
Yes.
I see. So I don't understand this collection at all. Where are we?
So it's Extreme G and something else.
Yeah, Extreme G and not Extreme G. The trailer reflects this, by the way. It's like, here's a lot of Extreme G, also Iggy's Wrecking Balls.
So it is Iggy's Wrecking Balls.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I didn't make that up.
Okay, no, all right. I thought you were joking.
No,
what a strange choice.
I should be joking. You're right.
What a strange choice.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
That is a game that nobody asked for.
Get wrecking with Iggy and the crew.
Yeah. I don't really remember what that game was like.
It was like.
Was it sort of like you're kind of like a chain chomp running around, kind of?
Kind of like rolling? That, but maybe like almost proto monkey ball. It's weird.
Yeah.
What a stupid. Like it. I keep saying this. It feels like they're putting together lists to deliberately make fun of us, and they sure did it this time. Yeah, they're not a great showing, is what I will say of this one.
So then, what's Iggy's actual name? Because what is Iggy?
Iggy.
What?
Iggy's name is Iggy.
Iggy is neither cat nor dog.
Yeah,
but is it like something? Is this is it like a short form for like Ignatius or something? I'm just looking for what Iggy's government name is. Okay.
Iggy is Ignatius the Wrecking Ball.
All right. Okay. Man, I'm just watching some of the gameplay right now, and I tell you, if you wanted Fisher Price menus, the N64 was the place for you.
Oh yeah, big buttons on screen.
Big buttons.
What if I told you what button to press on screen with an icon?
Yep.
Everywhere. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Menu design is my passion.
Oh my goodness! Why?
All right. Yeah, no, I know. There was another story I wanted to bring up, and I've lost it, so I'll have to see if I can go up and dig it out. But for the time being, John, would you give us some new business?
Sure, I would. Actually, yeah. So, I mean, really, do I ever give new business? I mean, I feel like all of my new business is mostly old business.
Sometimes.
Because I'm just kind of meander through my backlog generally these days, it seems. So, even though this is once again, it's technically new business, but it's about old business. So, this is I've
new to you business.
I've returned not even. I've returned to Final Fantasy XIV. I'm playing it on Xbox because let's just say I have this on several platforms at this point. And I'm really enjoying it. So I've played this on PC. I have just a real checkered history with this game. It's the one game where I've always been like, hey, I really should like actually spend some time because I like that game. It's cool. But I've always like just played it in like kind of fits and stops sort of thing. Like I have somehow on this game, I have I think 300. They track how many days you've logged in or how many days you've played in total. I think I have like 390 days on this game, but like I don't remember how or where I've actually accumulated that or like what platform it's been on, because I feel like I've had this game for like 10 years, but I've only played it for maybe like a couple of weeks at a time, but I've done that 15 times. But anyways, yeah, so I wanted to check it out on Xbox since I have everything. I mean, the way Final Fantasy XIV works from an account standpoint is if you get the collector's edition of any expansion, you get it across all platforms. It's account wide. So, you know, I picked up the collector's edition for this on PC, for that on PS5, and so Dawn Trail is coming out, so that expansion, I got that on Xbox, but it applies everywhere, which is pretty cool. But it's also very confusing the way they set it up on the shop, because you're never really sure unless you look at your account, what you have unlocked where. So I think like they actually give you this matrix where it lists the platforms at the top, and then it has the expansions on the left side and like the base game. And I think because what I've done over the years is I've just looked for when the expansions go on sale, I've just bought them, right? So I have everything, I think, except I have nothing on Mac, but I have everything except with the Windows version of the last expansion. I guess it's Endwalker or whatever. It's the only one I don't have. So at some point I'll just pick that up really, really cheap when it goes on sale for nothing. Just to fill out the matrix. And if I ever want to move over to PC, I have it. But I did the same thing here. Picked up Dawn Trail. Dawn Trail is the only thing the cool thing is, the way it works on Xbox Game Pass is that they have this offer. I think it's actually expired right now. I think it was on until April the 20th. But if you had Game Pass Ultimate, which you need to play the game, which is a difference from PlayStation. PlayStation, you don't need PlayStation Plus, but on Xbox, you need to have Game Pass Ultimate to play it. I'm wondering if that might change in the future. But so right now it's sort of a double dip where you have to have 2 subscriptions if you want to play Final Fantasy XIV on Xbox, which a lot of people don't like. I don't really care because I always have an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, so it doesn't really affect me. But if I did let that subscription lapse, then I would not be able to play Final Fantasy XIV on Xbox. So that kind of sucks.
Can you move progress between systems?
Yeah. So like I could pick up on PC or PlayStation 5, for example. I could just start playing there. But of course you would only be able to play the newest content if you had like Dawn Trail, right? So I would have to buy Dawn Trail on PS5 to play it there. But I have a long way to go before even getting there, so not really a concern right now. But yeah, so they make it very confusing. But the good thing is I finally figured out I had to like, you know, go on Reddit to kind of figure this out and check my account, my Square Enix account with it. But if you buy if they had an offer where you could download the base game for free, and the base game actually comes with, it's the base game plus the first 2 expansions. There's 6 expansions in total. I think Dawn Trail's the 6th one. So you get the first 3 games, you get like, I think it's Heaven's Ward and Shadowbringers, right? So you get the base game, Heaven's Ward, Shadowbringers. So that was cool. So I just downloaded that. That was like the free offer that they had to try to incentivize people to play. So I got basically the first three expansions or story modules for free. And then when you buy Dawn Trail, it actually gives you Dawn Trail and then the last 2. So it's like Heaven's Ward and Endwalker. So pretty much I bought Dawn Trail and I got everything. So
okay.
So that was actually pretty cool. But I had to figure that out myself. They don't really make that clear at all. So I had to kind of do some sleuthing around to do that. But so now since the free offer is over, I suppose you would just have to buy probably the base game, which includes, I think it includes both the 2nd and 3rd expansions, and then buy Dawn Trail. So that's that. But yeah, for some reason I enjoy playing this on Xbox more than I do on PlayStation 5 because I put some time into it on PlayStation 5 too. I think a lot of that has to do with the controller and the fact that I think that on the PS5 it has the touchpad. And I actually don't think that's the greatest thing in this game because it tempts you to use it like like a mouse. And I think you get into this weird experience where you try to navigate some of the UI with a mouse, and it's really not a great version of a mouse. And so because you do that, you never really learn to control it with a controller, which is ideally what you should do because you're playing on a console. And so with Xbox, they remove that entirely, of course, because they don't have any touchpad kind of stuff on their controllers. But I do have an Elite Series 2. So I've really gotten accustomed to playing it with the controller. And of course, what you can do with the Elite Series 2 is it has the 4 levers underneath that you can map to different buttons. And so I have that mapped to switching my hotbar, because like any other MMO, you unlock abilities and you assign them to your hotbar. You have multiple hotbars, and so a lot of times you'll be switching between hotbars. Like you have, your first hotbar will probably be all of your combat stuff. Then your second will be maybe your travel stuff, and whatever. Maybe your third one is your crafting or something like that, right? So that's been pretty helpful. And I've just kind of, I watched some videos on YouTube kind of to ease me back into it and maybe tell me some things that I didn't really know. So I think I've just it's been sort of the effort that I've put into getting back into the game, but then also playing with, a controller that I like and actually trying to embrace the controller controls, the console controls, rather than kind of trying to fight against them or sort of, half console, half sort of bad mouse control sort of thing. So it's just been a lot more comfortable, and I actually took the time to kind of set up my hotbar the way I wanted and stuff like that. And so I'm playing it really casually, solo. And what I like about that, what they do really well, and this is, I think, very smart, is they allow you to, of course, as part of the story, you have to, play certain, instanced content. And so what you can do is you can play that with NPCs instead of having to, like something in World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft, you have to dive in and play with other people, which can, if you don't know what you're doing, can be pretty darn harsh. And in this, you can completely avoid other people by just playing with NPCs. And that's really good for beginning in the game, because a lot of times it's just like you just want to blow through the story content. Like you don't really care. Like really what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get through all the story content so I can eventually get to the latest expansion. And I'm just trying to unlock everything. So I don't really care about, learning how to do instance content with people or learning how to be a good tank or whatever, any of that. I just want to blow through this content, see the story, and, go about my business and move on to the next expansion. So I really like that. So it's very easy to solo, which is good. I'll be curious to see if the visuals have improved. The visuals, like, they're perfectly fine, and it has like a very clean look. But early on in the game, it's just, you can tell it's just a little bit aged. Things are kind of simple. Still looks good, but you can tell. I'm sure Dawn Trail probably looks a lot better. They probably improved the engine quite a bit. But even if they didn't, I wouldn't be hating on it. But it's just it looks a little bit dated at this point. I mean, the game is almost 10 years old. I think it is 10 years old. So it's I'm hoping that as things go on, like things get a bit more elaborate, but there is definitely better storytelling than I expected. There's just a lot of stuff. I mean, the cutscenes, they aren't fully voiced at all. Well, the cutscenes are generally voiced. Some of them aren't. But it's actually kind of nice. Like this game doesn't bark at you a lot. I mean, most games I play, there's just like constant chatter in the background, and this is more about it's a really chill game to play because the music is of course really, really good, and it's fun to just roam around and just the music is playing and that's it. NPCs don't say anything. This isn't like Grand Theft Auto where it's every single person that you pass by on the street is making some crazy comment. It's not like that at all. It's more kind of old school in that respect. At least this, I mean, but of course bear in mind I'm playing A Realm Reborn, which is the base game. So I would think that I've heard that the story gets very, very good, especially in future expansions. So I'd imagine that they probably ramp up the voice acting and stuff like that further on down the line.
Well, the budget starts to go up too, I'd imagine as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's good. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm sure at some point I'm still using my age-old character who is he's a tank. He's a marauder. I just converted him to a warrior, which is apparently a pretty good class in the game. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep burning through the story in a very relaxed pace. I've just pretty much said, okay, I'm going to every single quest that is offered to me. I'm not going to try to power level or anything like that because I don't really find that to be an enjoyable way to experience these games at all. And so I'm just going to do every single quest that I see and just kind of go from there and work through the story. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, and I think I'll stay subscribed to it. It's just a good way to kind of kill time. So it's enjoyable.
Cool. Guillaume.
Yeah. So I've been playing. I don't know. I haven't felt like getting into a big game, and I don't know what I want to be playing. So I've just kind of been. I don't know. Does the expression "treading water" apply? It just feels like I'm kind of aimless. So the first thing I've been playing is The Frog Detective, and I mostly played it because it's titled The Frog Detective, and it happened to be on Game Pass. If it's cute and fun, good, and if it's not, I can bail out. And it's a weird little game. Like it's one of those games where I struggle to talk about it because it is a game called The Frog Detective, and that basically means
you're a frog who's a detective.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Like, there's not much to it. Its main strength, and the reason why you should play it, is if you're immediately drawn to a game titled The Frog Detective, basically, because the dialogue is going to be the strength. Like, it's probably just as cute as you expect it to be and want it to be, and the dialogue is basically all this game is. You do move around in these small 3D levels. It's in first person. You can press the trigger buttons to raise your magnifying glass. The magnifying glass doesn't serve any purpose at all, except that you're a frog detective, so you have to have one, and you have to be able to look through it. And so you can, if you want to, but the game doesn't require it at any point. It's just kind of, I guess that's the joke. You're playing.
It's what detectives do.
Yeah, or should do. So you're the frog detective. Not really. There's no other name than that. Like, you answer the phone, you say it's the frog detective, and your supervisor tells you that he needs his best detective on the case, but Lobster Cop was unavailable, so it's the case is going to go to you. And Frog Detective is very like, yeah, of course, Lobster Cop, he's so great, but yes, I can do this. And so you're sent to investigate a report of ghosts on an island. That's the first case. The second case is an invisible witch that had in a town that just moved into a town, and the parade that they were going to throw in her honor got trashed. And then the third case, the final case, is a western kind of. Mostly you just go around, you talk to the few characters that are there in that setting, and sometimes they will give you something, sometimes they will ask you for something, and it's just a matter of like it's a trading game, like you just get the ball of wool that you got from the sheep and you give it to the person who was looking for wool, and there's some cute dialogue I wish I had noted down. Like it's one of those kind of
it's very irreverent.
Yeah, irreverent, but also like kind of like that a little bit like rapid fire, like very short sentences. I don't know how to describe it, but like a short hike did the same thing. It was basically like very kind of fast, even though like we're dealing with written dialogue. Like there's not like it's as fast as you read it, but it's very short sentences, kind of like trying to be punchy and kind of moving fast.
Trying to mimic people talking.
Yeah, and fuck, I don't know what to say other than I enjoyed it enough. It was pleasant, and that's about the extent of my feelings about it. I did not hate it by the end. Like initially I was like, oh, is this all there is to it? But eventually I kind of got like, yeah, sure, I like these idiots. And then I finished the game, and 3 hours later, and then I moved on.
This is a big game for I like these idiots.
Yeah.
So like one of my favorite jokes in the game is actually in the trailer. Frog Detective is interviewing someone. It's a rhino.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks, or he's trying to get them to answer questions, and the rhino responds, "I didn't commit any crimes, and I have the right to remain silent." And Frog Detective responds, "Do you want to?" And the rhino responds, "Literally never."
Right. There's bits where...
there it goes. And it's like, yeah, that's what this game is like.
Yeah.
In an exchange.
There are bits where, like, well, I guess I'm spoiling the first case anyway a little bit, but nothing really criminal happened. And so, by the second case, the frog is just going around telling people, like, I'm so glad that crime isn't real. I'm like, yeah, isn't that cool? That kind of stuff. So yeah, it's cute, and I guess I recommend it if you see it on sale. But it's very short. But if you want to just spend a few hours, basically reading through dialogue that is decent. That is pretty funny. Like, it didn't make me laugh out loud, but I chuckled a few times.
It's consistently amusing.
Yeah. The other game that I played, unfortunately, I don't like as much, and it's Dropsy, which is not new. This is from years ago. I've heard about it from, like, for so long.
Dropsy the Clown.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like something like some sort of ailment you would have. Oh, well, that person's inflicted with Dropsy.
Oh, God.
But this is from, like, 2015. And I remember waiting for, like, the Switch release, and then I thought, well, I don't want to pay full price for the Switch release, and I guess 9 years later, here we are. But also, like, I just remember seeing people really high on it. Like, people loved this game, and after watching the trailers, personally, I was like, why? And then I started playing it, and I'm still a little bit, why? It's not really working on me, but I don't know if it's my adventure game. So this is a point and click adventure game.
Yes.
It doesn't have dialogue. It doesn't have written dialogue. All it has is, like, these pictograms. Like, basically, like, if someone needs something from you, you will see the little drawings showing what they need from you. Dropsy doesn't really speak. He just, like, kind of guffaws and giggles and makes disappointed sounds. I guess I'm not really sure what his goal is. That there is an opening where you see, I guess the background here is that Dropsy is blamed for perhaps causing an accident in the past in his at the circus, starting a fire that perhaps killed his parents, maybe? Or at the very least...
That sounds right.
Yeah. So people don't trust him, they don't like him, but the circus is, still around in some form, even though, you're not performing shows or anything. You're just going around town, and your goal seems to be to hug everyone. Some people will let you hug them right away, but most people don't trust you. They'll make a face, like there'll be a pictogram, like no to Dropsy, basically, like restricted circle in a bar kind of thing with Dropsy in it, and it's like, yeah, no Dropsy, thank you. So they don't like you, and you'll have to do something. You'll have to solve their problem to be able to then hug them. One of the first characters you see, a little girl, she's crying in front of a wilted flower, in the ground. And so there are several flowers that you can pick up somewhere, but the one that you want will still be alive, will have the thing, the glob of dirt on the roots. And so you go, and while she's sleeping, you will get your dog, because you do have a dog, to dig up the old flower, and then you'll put the new flower in its place, and then the next day the kid is going to be happy and you'll be able to hug her. So I just dropped some information here that I should perhaps have started with. This game has a night and day cycle, and so what this means is that every screen, you guys know how a point-and-click game works, right? Like there are several scenes that you move from, one to the next. Like you go to the edge and then you enter the next scene.
Yep.
And often, like your progress between scenes is gated by whatever. Like you'll have to solve a puzzle. Like you'll have to solve the puzzles in that area before you can explore further. And so in this game, it's not that gated. Like, the area that you can explore is very vast, and so what that means is that you see puzzles, but you never know how far the thing that you need to solve it is. Like there's it's a little bit. My issue when we talked about what's that goddamn game's name? I wish.
Dr. Mario.
No. Often that would be the case, but no. In this case, I'm thinking of the one that Greg played with the. You've got like orbs that are worlds that you can enter, but also you can carry the orbs around. God damn it! It just came out like last year, and it was like one of Greg's favorite games of that year.
Yeah. No, I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Anyway, my issue with that
Dropsy.
game. No, it was not.
Iggy's Wrecking Balls.
Oh my god!
No, that was it. Got it in two. Dropsy's wrecked balls. Yes.
2023 orbs.
2023 orbs
game. We're doing this. League of Legends.
We
it's
are
not League of Legends. Fucking Google.
We are pondering the orb in real time.
Oh, this is Insect Man. I don't know what to.
Hi, Greg.
No, it's still Cocoon.
Cocoon. There we go.
Okay.
Didn't you also play Cocoon?
I did, but so my point is that ironically, my main beef with Cocoon is that it only let you solve one puzzle at a time. It would restrict your movement too much, so that like you always knew exactly kind of what you needed to do because the solution was always in the area that you were stuck in. And there was very little set dressing, like very few red herrings, very few, like there was, if there were 3 things that you needed to interact with, those 3 things were all there and they were the only things that were on the screen. And so there was not 1,000 ways to solve that puzzle, like it was a little bit too obvious in my taste. In Dropsy, it gives you a little bit too much freedom, and so I kind of walked around all over the place, and I didn't know how to solve like one of the game's very first puzzles, and that was kind of annoying. But there's also the whole no dialogue thing is not working for me because the game is a little bit ugly, in 2 ways. First of all, the art, like, Dropsy is ugly. Like, the whole, it's kind of going for a Ren and Stimpy-ish, like, very kind of gross look. But also, like, it's using chunky pixels that I guess, to evoke old point-and-click adventures of the early 90s. Like, this is not SVGA, it's before that. It's like 320 by 240. But it doesn't look good, like it's not, I think of those games in that low resolution, and I feel like they managed to make games that in general worked better. Like the characters or the objects would have outlines that you could see that would distinguish them from the backgrounds, for instance. I feel like Dropsy goes for all like pastel colors, and Dropsy himself, like everything kind of blends in a little bit together. Like I'm kind of exaggerating here, but like it's weirdly undetailed because it's maybe it's using either too few or too many colors, and lots of that color is like. Anyway, I don't know how to express this, but I have an issue with reading even like the pictograms, like that the people telling you what they want. Like it took me forever to figure out that this one icon meant like stealing. I saw it in 2 different contexts, and only when I saw it in the second context did I understand that what it meant in the first context. But then didn't really help me solve the puzzle. Yeah, so one of the issues is that you can walk all over the place. The other issue is that it's the lack of communication and dialogue. It makes it really unclear. And I don't know if it's me who's just a little bit rusty with point-and-click adventure games, but I could not figure out, even though the game kind of went out of its way to tell me what the solution was, it took me forever to figure out this very early puzzle where there's this guy dressed as a chicken doing promotion for, I suppose, this costume shop. That's why he's dressed as a chicken. I thought
they were unrelated.
No.
It'd be funnier if they were.
Mm-hmm. I went and tried to hug him because, of course, in a point-and-click adventure game, you try every action that's at your disposal on every object that you can interact with. And he was visibly pissed off, and he went inside the costume shop. And then I followed him in there. I assumed that the pictograms were basically him telling the owner, I hate this guy, and I don't like this, and I don't know. Like, there was a scene. Then he goes back out. There's a sign outside with your face crossed out, like basically no dropsy allowed. And the icon in the top, which is not always visible, but like there's a kind of the action bar is at the top, and it was visible, and the hug icon was flashing. And I swear I tried it at least once, and it didn't do anything. And so for most of the game, I ignored it. I just trekked all over the island, all over the game's world. Solved several different other things, but not the main thing that would have allowed me to make the story progress. And eventually, I figured out, like, wait, okay, I think that I meant to hug him again. And so then he was just, like, fed up, and he threw his mask on the ground. And he left. And so I could pick it up. And so that was the whole puzzle. I don't know, like I maybe like the whole hugging icon flashing should have clued me in that I was supposed to do that. But it seemed very weird to me that like it would just make me do it like several times to get the effect. Anyway, I didn't catch on. I feel like games made after 2015, point-and-click adventure games, like since then, like they've been better at giving in-game hints. And I guess this game's in-game hint was that the flashing icon, but it didn't click with me. Like I didn't get it, so it took me forever to solve that one thing. So probably a little bit my fault, but I think a little bit the game's fault, really. And then I needed, of course, this chicken mask so that I could pass off as a bird to this bird that had stolen a tire that some guy at the circus needed for his motorcycle. And from there, I was taken on his motorcycle to a different area of the game where I had other problems, other puzzles to solve. I'm not really enjoying any of it. I've been playing for maybe like 3-4 hours, and Dropsy is, I don't know, like I don't find the characters cute or anything. I don't find the puzzles really all that interesting, and I think that one of the main reasons why I usually play point-and-click adventure games is because of the dialogue. I really enjoy the writing of Tim Schafer or like in the Monkey Island games. And so this has none of that, and I fail to see its other qualities, I suppose. So I literally don't understand why people like this game. And I think as I'm saying this, I've decided that I'm done with it. So yeah, and the final game that I've been playing, and I feel like this is gonna again just make John say like with Guillaume, I never know what he's gonna talk about.
Yeah, I never know these days.
Yeah, so I've been playing Crackdown, the Xbox 360.
So random.
Wait, hold on. The original Crackdown?
Well, the Xbox 360 game, not okay. The Sega Genesis Crackdown. That's unrelated.
Yeah, or the reboot Crackdown that was on Xbox One.
Was there? I know there was 2 and 3. and
I
neither
think
of them
3.
were.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it was 3, but it was like a soft reboot thing too. So
Right.
yeah, it was, but also it was very bad.
So this is the original 360 Crackdown.
It is. Yeah.
Why?
Because I heard a lot about it. Back in the day, not today. No,
Let's say
very
15
few people.
years ago?
Very few people are talking about Crackdown today. That you're right. But yes, 15 years ago, which to me still feels like it's not that long ago because I'm old and time accelerates and there's less meaning. But yeah, like 15 years ago on gaming forums that I frequented, like people were like, you know what? I like this dumb game. I'm addicted to collecting orbs. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And now I know what the fuck they're talking about. This is a very stupid game, and I'm addicted to collecting agility and hidden orbs. Crackdown is like an early open world game where it's racist, right? I'm not making that up. Like it's very of its time, and by
It's
of its
stereotypical.
time, I mean
I'll go with stereotypical.
Yeah, it's very of its time. By as of its time, I mean like it's got a mentality of like being made by people who saw a lot of 80s action movies, which were kind of racist, and kind of obsessed with the idea of being, vigilantes cleaning up the streets of whatever big city.
Hey, that's cinema.
Hmm.
Cobra is cinema.
It is.
Of course.
Cutting a pizza with a pair of scissors at cinema.
Stone Cold is Oscar-worthy film.
Right. So, so Crackdown, you were playing as some agent, some kind of I forget how to explain it, genetically enhanced agent. Like you can become stronger, faster. Like as you collect orbs, as you gain experience, as you shoot down thugs, your abilities get better, and very quickly, like you can jump over buildings. Basically, you can run faster than most cars in the game. Every time that you shoot down an enemy, you get like basically your aiming, your weapon stat gets better. And so that allows you to be more efficient with your guns. Every time that you kick an enemy, your strength gets better. That gets you, that makes your kicks harder, but also it makes you able to lift bigger objects, and then that you can throw at enemies to kill them. And when you kill them in that way, again, you get experience to your that goes to your strength stat. Those agility orbs are placed at the top of, most roofs, and every time that you collect enough, your speed increases and your jumping height increases. And so that's what's been fun about this game, basically kind of doing the whole collecting the orbs thing, kind of, very basic open world platforming of trying to climb up buildings, collect the orbs, and that unlocks, ever higher jumps that allow you to collect more orbs. And this game is smart in that it put freaking like 800 of those 500 agility orbs in the game, 300 hidden orbs that kind of improve all your stats in some way. It's kind of addictive, but it's very, very stupid. You are basically like you're in this city that's basically a big circle divided in four. The four quarters of the circle are each controlled by a different gang, and of course there's like the Mexican gang and there's the Japanese gang or Chinese. I forget now. There's other two ethnic based gangs. It's not great. Like I think I took care of most of the Mexican gangs, and like every time, like you hear a lot of screaming, a lot of shouting, a lot of la puta or whatever, like swearing in Spanish. It's very stereotypical, as you said.
I would love to name this episode Guillaume Says La Puta.
Yeah, well, I am a big fan of Castle in the Sky, as you know.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's fun enough. At first, I was like, I don't think I'm going to keep playing this. It's very, it's janky in the way that an early Xbox 360 game is. And I just played through Spider-Man, and like if I think that Crackdown's whole appeal is like the whole like mobility aspect to it, right? Like you increase your speed and your jumps, and that's kind of like that's kind of fun, like it's cool, and it's cool to explore an open world city by jumping over the buildings instead of going around and driving like an idiot. Although you can drive like an idiot in this game. That improves your driving stat, of course. But yeah, like, and I figured like, well, I just played through Spider-Man, and like that kind of did the whole mobility thing better, didn't it? Like you're swinging around. Like, what's cooler than that? But it turns out that I might be enjoying Crackdown more ultimately, and I don't know why. I think that maybe it's because it's so freaking easy so far. I feel like I get shot at a lot, and the gangs pose no threat to me, and so it
does get harder at the end. I remember that.
Oh, okay, but for now, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I mostly kind of shrug off the bullets, and I keep doing my platforming, and I'm having fun. Whereas in Spider-Man, I feel like I really got into this. I refused to lower the difficulty of the game, which was probably my mistake. But like I feel like I fought so many goons in Spider-Man that I was just I was sick of it by the end. Whereas here it's basically like they die in Crackdown, they die very easily, and I barely have to pay them attention. So I'm enjoying this game more. But yeah, so you asked why. I don't know. It was on my Xbox. I think I got it for free. I think Microsoft was giving it away for whatever reason. Or at some point in the last few years, maybe like Wario64 was like on Twitter was like, hey, right now you can redeem this game for free. And I did without having an Xbox. And then once I got an Xbox, I just like happened to have it.
I think they may have actually given it away for free around the time that Crackdown 3 was launching, if I remember.
Right. And
so you can be reminded how much better it is than Crackdown 3.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a fun time, but I just at the same time as I'm playing it, I'm just replaying in my head like stupid arguments from back in my forum dwelling days. And I'm just remembering very annoying people in the IGN boards who are acting like, compared to the Wii players, on Xbox 360, I can have like sophisticated entertainment such as Crackdown. And I'm just like, you fucking fuck. You dumbass. This is not sophisticated in any way. Like, what are you talking about?
That's why eventually you leave the forums.
You're not sophisticated in any way.
I just wish that I could go back in time and win some arguments, or just insult some people some more. I don't know. Those were the days back when the internet was a great place to get into arguments with strangers. Now less so, just because it's Anyway, it's not about anything as silly as System Wars.
It's about other things.
Yeah, and everyone is better staying off the internet. So these days, yeah.
I just want an internet that's only me and no one else. It'd be so much better.
Sure.
Just me and myself on the internet.
Let's go to Mastodon then, James.
Oh, sick burn. Heyo.
Anyway, so yeah, Crackdown. That's a good, I guess. It's a good escape.
Game. 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. But still today, it's kind of fun revisiting, actually.
There's an episode way back when where Johnny and I were playing, and we talk about a session we had where. This is late game, so we were struggling with, I think it was the Yakuza boss. And we were trying to firefight our way up a skyscraper to the boss. And Johnny got killed. and I was basically stuck on the stairwell, just holding my ground, waiting for him to respawn and come back. Because you respawn all the way back at base. And he respawned, got a car, and started driving back. And I'm just sort of like hiding behind a planter shooting. And then all of a sudden I'm dead. Because Johnny has driven to come get me. And has in fact driven up the stairs that we're standing on and has run me over.
What? Okay.
He tried to drive the car up the stairs to get to me faster and instead just ran me over.
Wow.
So, unsuccessful rescue operation was carried out by Dr. Metz.
So you played online, of course, but does this game have like split screen multiplayer?
I don't think so.
Huh.
Microsoft was really pushing online multiplayer at that moment, so that not much had split screen.
Right. I just, something about the menus kind of gave me hope, but I don't think that Karen's interested, so I think it's kind of moot. She's just been, like, sometimes, like, chuckling, hearing the Spanish swearing, and just...
Oh, it's stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't hold it against her if she doesn't want to play this. But, I'm having fun. Somehow.
Cool. Somehow.
Yep.
I don't have a lot to say. I played... So when we spoke last week, I was like an hour into Sagres. I'm like 12 hours in now, so I have a better feel for what the game is. So it does expand quite a bit. The amount of things you can do at sea goes up. The types of events you see, you get more of them. A big part of how I'm making money is actually as a trader. Like I'm not engaged in piracy, although I could. So much. I'm not doing, I am doing like these runs of discovery where I get big prize money, but like I might run trades the entire way. Like going to one port, buy some goods, going to another port, see if I can make some money and like shifting them. And I'll make more money doing that than I will on the expedition prize. This game is a reasonable time killer. We talked about things being stereotypical. It is. It's like, you've reached the new world. There's the monoculture that's here. Just generic natives. Stuff like that, where it's like, this is a little bit reductivist to say the least. But yeah, it's not a great game, but it's a fine time killer. There's a lot of stuff in there that's kind of funny and kind of silly. The fact that the combat is rock, paper, scissors does get a little old sometimes, even when it gives you hints on what to play. But yeah, it's good. I don't have a lot else to say about it. I didn't really plan to talk about it this week, but I really haven't had much else to play. So, if you're interested in these kinds of games, like I said, I mentioned it last time that Uncharted Waters feels better. It is better. It's a more complex game though. This has got some charm to it, but it is still relatively basic. I think, though, that's all we've got for new business. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to do some listener mail, so please stay tuned. We return to your ears with listener mail. You can send your questions, comments, thoughts, ideas, pontifications, and prompts to RFN at NintendoWorldReport.com. That's RFN at NintendoWorldReport.com. And we're going to read you some of the email and then try to answer it, because that's what this segment is about. And I will, you know what? I'm going to read the first one. Meowth Maze here with OxyClean writes, "Hey, you. Yeah, you, our effing crew. I'm here today to introduce the Meowth adapter. You can equip it and become Meowth, or Mega Man, or absolutely any controller from gaming history on the Switch."
Right. No, that's, it was... So,
it was scratched out.
Become Meowth Mega Man was scratched out, and the email was, barred. So basically, you can equip it and use absolutely any controller from gaming history on the Switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But choose carefully, because there's proprietary DRM that locks in that controller for every game. Splatoon, NES Online, all of it. You can't pick stock Switch controller or Joy-Con, because why would you need a converter for those? Don't be ridiculous. So, I guess the prompt here is, what controller are we going to bolt onto our bodies forever? I know my answer.
Oh, is that? I had trouble understanding the freaking
Yes.
question.
That's the dilemma we're being proffered here.
So this is every game, anywhere, all the time. So effectively,
Yes.
this is what is your favorite controller of all time,
Oh, well, it'd be not necessarily, 'cause
or
it's
most
like,
useful.
yeah, most useful in the modern era, or I guess in all eras, because you're playing an old game with it too. So like, don't pick the Intellivision one with the stupid wheel and the touch and the phone number pad. It's not gonna do any good.
So I guess, yeah, I don't know. Well, the most fun answer would be like the stupidest thing that you could do. So I'm guessing
the Sega Activator.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, yeah, that's where I was going. Of course.
Oh, was it really? Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Sorry, I stole your heat. I mean, the Power Glove's there too, if you want to go that way.
Yeah, Power Glove is pretty stupid.
It's actually really hard to use too. That's the funny thing.
Yeah. What was the PS3 gun that you had to use with the Move controllers? What was that called?
Oh yeah. Hold on. Was it the sharpshooter?
No.
But yeah, like basically it was like the Nintendo Wii,
It was a plastic shell, basically.
yeah, what was that thing called on the Wii? The Link's
was the
crossbow
sharpshooter,
training.
James. It was the sharpshooter.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
that.
Link's crossbow training thing. Yes.
so yeah, just Sony just openly copying Nintendo's homework, made their own.
But it's way too fancy looking. Like, it's covered in like colored plastic pieces and like weird details that don't need to be there.
Sure.
Which is a very Sony outcome, whereas Nintendo's was like, here's a piece of plastic shit. Wrap the wire around this thing. But ultimately, that's just a Move controller. It's the Move controller in a shell. So I would say in that case, you're just saying the Move controller.
I would not say the Move controller. For maximum stupidity, I would say that the sharpshooter has to be in there.
Because in that case, you may as well choose the Eye of Judgment camera.
I don't think I wouldn't.
I know you own one.
I do.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I still have it.
I know.
I praise you every night. Every night I'm like, thank you. Thank you for everything that you've given me, Eye of Judgment controller. Thank you for the bounty that you have given me.
There's an episode art from 2023 about John Lindemann becoming a pro Eye of Judgment streamer on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's my backup plan.
There you go. He's going to have 9 followers.
So maybe I've decided that I play too many games and I want to try to pull back and play fewer, and so maybe I want to use the really uncomfortable controller all the time. So what about the Dragon Quest Slime controller?
Oh, the one that's like a ball shape? Yeah.
It's shaped like the slime, basically.
Yeah, but like it's actually round. It's not like a flat thing that happens to be shaped like a slime. It's like a 3-dimensional slime.
Right. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
you basically, like, all the controls are at the bottom, like, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you hold a slime upside down, and there's just no way to be comfortable with it because your fingers are just like on the on the tip of the slime. It's really weird.
It's huge too. It's gigantic. I want to put my so it is a Switch controller. I want to put my Switch in tabletop mode on an airplane and then pull out the slime controller and just play that while people look.
Mm-hmm.
You know
what? I bet that would make like a really good headrest, like a good pillow for an airplane. No?
It's probably hard though. Has anyone purchased the Switch Hori slime controller? What are your impressions of its performance? Are there Are there latency issues? Someone is concerned about latency of the fucking slime controller. I am just...
Well, you need your reaction time to be very tight when you're playing Dragon Quest games.
Yes.
Yeah, the one I would throw out there maybe as a one that would cover all the bases was maybe the ASCII keyboard controller for the GameCube.
Oh, dear God.
Where it's literally the keyboard fused in between two halves of a GameCube controller.
Yeah, it's very stupid.
Yeah.
We've talked about it on the show a bunch of times because it looks, no matter how much you describe it, it looks like something I put together for an episode art. It doesn't look real. It is
dumb as hell.
Yeah. I would be proud of myself if I had built that. I'd be like, yeah, I did this. This is me. My idea. Part of me wants to go with the Joy-Con robot set. I feel like there's opportunity there. And by opportunity, I mean there's no opportunity there. But you'd have to wear a big robot suit every time you wanted to play literally any game.
Right.
A robot suit powered entirely by cardboard and rubber bands.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way this will be a problem. See, I'm gonna go with that. I think that's got. I mean, like you could play Tetris in it. You could literally just reach out and move the. I mean, everybody's talking about room scale VR, but what about cardboard scale VR? I think that's where we're at. Like, I'm about protecting the environment. They're about sticking Oculus plastic in a landfill in 3 years. Checkmate, atheists. I don't know. I lost the plot on that one. Checkmate, Facebook. There we go. That's better. Any other controller options?
No, man, I'm good. I mean, I got my keyboard over here. I have pretty much everything I need, all the buttons I need on my GameCube controller. I'm good. I mean,
it's true. What you need is you need the ASCII controller and a mouse. It's like dual hand.
Yeah.
The mouse is in one hand and the ASCII controller is in another. But also that hand is going to get carpal tunnel because you're holding up this like giant slab.
Yes, it's a gargantuan slab of plastic.
In one. Actually, you know what? Speaking of gargantuan slabs of plastic, I know my real answer: the Wii U gamepad. I will play all games with the gamepad.
Yeah,
that's the way. Because if they don't have any native support for the screen, I just want them to do what Mario Kart 8 did and have a horn button. And that's it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, an alternative for me might be the Steel Battalion controller. I mean, if that couldn't, that could control pretty much everything, anything you could throw at it.
And then some.
Yep.
No, you know what? That's a good play. And as it starts to degrade through usage, you can just like go to the hardware store and just bolt things on to replace the switches.
Yep.
And it looks more authentic as a result. It's truly the future and the past. All right, John, would you read the next email?
I certainly can. Null writes,
I'm so glad you got this one.
Hi, I'm not alone in buying special editions of video games to get the added trinkets. Please tell me I'm not alone. Stuffed animals, little dragons, cafe, keychains, the Alliance Alive, and memory sticks that could brick computers more recent than the beast I was using at the time, redacted. Now I find myself buying, even rebuying games to get music CDs, like Potionomics. Thoughts, advice, the number of the local junk hauler? Yours in admiration. I believe this is Null No More, right?
Yep. Sure is.
So I barely buy games new anymore, so I certainly don't go for the special edition, although sometimes those can linger on shelves for a long time, or at least they did when games were sold on shelves. Are they still anymore? I don't even know. I don't go to stores anymore.
Not as much.
Not as much. But I do remember that one time I was very excited. I think it was for whichever sequel to F-Zero we got on the GBA. What was the Maximum? No, Maximum Velocity was the first one. Then there was another one.
The Climax?
Climax, yeah. So F-Zero, Climax. I got that, and I was very excited to see that Club...
Hey, baby, let me show you my F-Zero Climax. There, I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
So I saw that Club Nintendo was offering a reward for Canadians that the US wasn't getting. And I was like, wow, this never happens. This is
Was
so
it a fucking
exciting.
scarf?
It was not a scarf. It was even better. It was a watch. So I was like, cool, I'm going to get a free watch? And so I put in my order. And what I received was, of course, a tiny, tiny watch that wouldn't fit an adult's wrist. Because, of course, they were marketing this for children, and the watch was for very young kids. And so I just, I think that it sat in a drawer for maybe a few months, and then I literally don't know what I did with it. Probably gave it away to charity, but I don't know why I got excited in the first place. Like, literally anything free, I think, was exciting, but then I realized, like, yeah, I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up.
I have a few, but a lot of times it just comes down to Atlas back in the DS era. If you bought the game on day one, just gave you the deluxe edition. Like that was the one they released for like the first batch, and that would come with the music CD. And then like after the first run was done, it was just the regular edition. It wasn't like I was actively seeking out the special edition. I've got, I don't know, 2 or 3. Like, I've got some art books that came with some things. I've got some steel books from early in the Switch's life when, again, it wasn't necessarily that I paid for a special edition. It was just that, like, for a limited run, it was steel book and then it was regular. But, excuse me, the appeal of the special edition never really got to me too much. Like, there are times where, like, I may have bought a game early and registered it because you got a gift sent to you, like your watch. In my case, there was, like, the quill pen stylus that came with Phantom Hourglass, but you had to register, and then they mailed it to you in a box, which was kind of neat.
Yeah.
There were some where you got some digital stuff ahead of time, but I mostly have kept out of that space. But I mean, I know... if only we had an expert here who could speak about this topic.
It makes me sad that Greg isn't here to talk about this.
Yes. Famed collector Greg Leahy.
Famed collector Greg Leahy, indeed. Yeah, I've bought a few special editions in my time. I've had those phases.
Greg the Amiibo complete set Leahy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for special editions, man.
What's the worst one you've bought? The most regretful?
I think the worst regretful, the Halo head.
The cat helmet.
The cat helmet
yeah.
it's a regret. It's also completely hilarious to me, but also it's like, God damn it, at some point I have to get rid of this thing. It's so useless. It's not even like a cool looking statue or something that you might actually display somewhere. It's just the most, I mean, it's a big Halo, it's a big Master Chief head, and then inside of it is where you put the game boxes.
It's so stupid.
It's completely useless.
Yes.
And unsightly, to say the least. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the only place where you could ever really display that with any sort of, I don't know, lack of shame would be
when you're bringing your significant other's family over. Yeah, I understand.
It's like it's the only thing. It's like I don't even know if it would fit in a man cave. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of things. So I regret
Thanksgiving Day centerpiece.
Yeah, I regret that purchase. I should not have bought that.
I mean, but here's the counter though. Like, since the day you bought it, like, we've been making fun of that thing for years.
I have actually gotten more enjoyment out of it probably than I did out of Halo 3.
Well, I mean, you've definitely gotten more enjoyment out of us busting on it than you have actually having it.
It's sort of, it's come around where, like, at first I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Or the thing is, I didn't even really think about it very much. I was just like, oh, Halo 3, I have to buy the special edition of it. I didn't even really think about it. I didn't really think about what I was getting myself into. And then when it arrived...
But we were instantly making fun of it.
Well,
like,
and then when it arrived in the mail, I was like, this was a mistake. This was a mistake.
But then you were pot committed. You had to pretend
I'm
like
pot
it was
committed.
good.
I have this Halo thing. And the thing is, too, it's like after that, it's like it kind of sunk in. Like nobody else wanted it, so I really couldn't sell it either. You know?
Because there were like 800 of them on the shelves at Best Buy.
Yeah, and like nobody wanted this thing with a huge Master Chief head. But now I have the Master Chief head, so there you go.
There was another one that came with a statue of Master Chief in like the Super Deluxe edition. Mm-hmm. And that was the one that was like $300 or something.
Yeah,
and
I remember ridiculous.
I remember walking into Best Buy and they had an entire shelf of them marked down to less than the price of the game regularly.
Yeah.
Get this fucking shit off of our shelves.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And also, it's, all that stuff you have to, if you move, man, I tell you, you have to box that shit up and carry it around with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And since its only value is in its appearance, you have to make sure it doesn't get broken either. So you have to pack it like it's a Fabergé egg.
Kind of ironic for a man in armor.
It's ridiculous. I mean, not so much. I'm not really talking more about the Halo head because that thing's, it's a big chunk of plastic. You can't really do much to it, but you do have to protect it. But I have the box for that. But just like some of this other stuff, like the statues and stuff like that, it's like I remember I had I think it was the Street Fighter, maybe 4 or Street Fighter 3. I don't remember which one it was, but one of them came, and I think I actually did wind up selling it on eBay. But I wound up, I bought the special edition that had the statue of Ryu.
Yeah.
And it was the same one of those things where I get it in the mail, and I'm just like, I'm not going to put this fucking statue up anywhere. Why am I going to have a random statue of Ryu from Street Fighter on a shelf? Like, it's just
if you were a huge Street Fighter fan, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I think it sounds better to me. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, it sounds better. It sounds good at the time, but then when I actually get it, I'm like, oh, God. Why did I get this thing?
The first Octopath had like a pop-up book that tried to simulate the HD 2D. That was kind of neat.
Yeah.
Too bad that game sucks, but that was kind of neat.
Yeah. I do like, I still get the World of Warcraft special editions. They're really nice when they do release them. They don't really do too much anymore. They do it more for anniversaries. I don't think they actually have the box ones anymore, but the box ones are really cool. But that's pretty much it.
I will say I kind of regret not getting the Xenoblade ones.
Yeah, I got one of the Xenoblade ones, and it's really cool. I got one of the ones with the art book. It was really cool.
Yeah, the 2 and 3 art books are really nice. The steel books look nice. I don't have anything that plays audio CDs. Mm-hmm. My car does. I've had my car for 3 years. I just found the CD player last week.
Nice.
Because it's like hidden because they know nobody's using it. So like I couldn't listen to the CD even if I wanted to. I mean, I guess just knowing I have it gives me some kind of like sexual powers, but like actually playing it is beyond my capabilities. So we live in this land of orphaned media formats.
Yep.
But it looks really nice. I actually have a few art books that I bought at oh God, what is the name of that bookstore? Kinokuniya. I have the art book. The one that I think is most funny that I have it is I have the official Japanese art book for Bravely Second. Bravely Default 2. Bravely Second. And it's fucking wild. I've heard the Xenoblade 3 art book is also very nice, but I do not have it.
Yeah.
Syrenne was talking to me about it, and like part of the things she was saying, I was like, oh, I see. A part of it was like, I kind of want to get it anyway. I kind of want to have it.
Yeah, the art books are. I like art books. They're usually pretty cool.
Yeah, they're just nicer. I remember during the PlayStation era when we were getting JRPGs that were like 9 CDs anyway.
Yeah.
They would come with a lot of shit.
Well, the working designs ones were legendary.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I had the one from, God, which one was it? The one that had the punching puppet.
Yes.
I had that one. I sold that one on eBay. That was I think Lunar Silver Star Story.
Yes, it was. You're right.
Yes.
I was curious if you'd get there. You nailed it.
Yeah.
They also had. It's a weird game that comes out periodically in different formats, and there's like 9 of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the PSP version, which was a remake, and people agree that it was not as good as the original. So I was not impressed by it.
Ark the Lad, I want to say, had a whole bunch of stuff that came with it too that was crazy. But Ark the Lad's like a 5-disc game. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Xenoblade Switch one, Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade 3, they are all really nice. Didn't Titanfall have like a big dumb statue?
I can't remember.
That's the shit where it's like, yeah, I mean, I appreciate that you did it, but also I don't want that.
Yeah.
I know Death Stranding had the stupid baby in a briefcase edition.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you just remind me that Dead Island was meant to get like that, basically that woman's torso edition.
Oh yeah,
thing.
There we go.
They backtracked after
cowards, fucking cowards.
Give
Give me the torso.
It was so tasteless.
Yeah, but that's why you do it.
Yeah.
John. So apparently there was another cat helmet you could have had.
Oh, what was it?
Titanfall 2 had a helmet collection edition.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see this. See if I can.
I want to hear you react to it. We have talked about scarves.
I love Titanfall 2. That game's amazing.
Titanfall 2 is amazing.
Titanfall 2. Oh, here we go on eBay. Titanfall 2 Vanguard SRS Collector's Edition helmet. I mean, that's pretty fucking cool. I gotta say, that's pretty badass. I don't want it in my house, but I mean, damn, man. See, I like that. That's cool because it's on a stand, right? Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got, but it's also painted with like art and stuff, decals.
Yeah.
Versus just like, here's Master Chief's head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the Fallout 4 with the Pip-Boy edition, the actual Pip-Boy, like that's neat.
I almost picked that up. Actually, you know what? I did actually buy that. But so it was sent to me and the Pip-Boy was damaged, so I sent it back. And I didn't. I just got a refund. That was it. Again, that was one of those ones where I got it and I was like, this is a cheap piece of plastic crap. And I was I'm glad that this is damaged because it's going right back and all I want is a refund. And that was it. I was out.
Nice.
Yeah, the trick is to kind of go through that process before you buy the thing. You just remind yourself it's just going to be plastic crap that sits there. And so you wait a bit and then,
If it's a statue, if it's a figure or something that I actually really like, that I actually think would be really neat to have, like, sitting on a shelf somewhere. And, like, I can jive with it, but that's an extreme exception.
Yes, I agree.
Like if they had done something for Xenoblade where I could get fucking Beef Boy Adult Rex, like I'd have been like, yeah, give me that dumb idiot. I want to see him. I want to have him on the shelf over here, reminding me to eat my meats and do my exercise. Like it's just big dumb meat man over here with his alarming number of wives who are literal sister wives and figurative sister wives. Yeah, that's that. I don't know. I don't buy physical anymore, so it's kind of a hard thing to do. But yeah, I'm a sucker for an art book, but even that just takes up space in the end. Digital art books, just because like I'm gonna see it all online anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah,
the scans are gonna get out. Let's just skip a step. All right, Guillaume, would you read the final email?
Sure. GX writes, Dear RFN crew, let's say that, despite all expectations, Nintendo starts getting real. Nintendo starts getting real big into AI. And not in the, yes, we can tell that you stole a bunch of our official art to train your model, we'll see you in court way. What do they do with it? Where do they use it? Does everyone get an Isabelle personal assistant? Do we suddenly have infinite Tomodachi Life scenarios? Can we simply generate new species to populate Mira? And more importantly, what do their customers do to immediately make them stop, reverse course, and salt the earth?
I actually think, like, in a game like Xenoblade, where especially Xenoblade X, where the tyrants were such a key component of that game, because the plot was kind of secondary. The tyrants were sort of the ever-present threat, whereas the Ganglion were kind of the long-distance threat. I think the idea of, they're FOE in Etrian Odyssey, but like these bosses that aren't connected to the enemy, they're just sort of free-floating danger things. Having them learn and react to player inputs and develop strategies based on what the player does would make them feel way more challenging. Because then, let's say you have some pattern that breaks it. Having the game run simulations and figure out on its own ways to unbreak itself would be a real revelation. You're like, oh, I can beat this guy, no problem. Oh, God, didn't work. What happened? But if Nintendo gets way into AI, it's going to be in some way to create gameplay experience that I don't entirely understand beyond like making the challenge tailor itself to you and only you specifically based on what it's learned you're good and bad at and acting accordingly.
I think that Nintendo for Mario Kart 9 realizes that they've got a problem where they don't have as many female character drivers as male ones, and so they use AI to generate new female drivers, new female characters in the Mario universe. But someone messes up instead of using just the Nintendo data, the Mario franchise data to kind of put all the, to take attributes from, like, they put all the Nintendo games in there. And so you've got, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 data swimming in there, being used to generate Mario characters. And it's just horrifying. And so people don't do anything to make the Nintendo cease and desist. They just realize very quickly, like, oh, we've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, the Luigi and Waluigi as sister wives is very disturbing, I'm going to be honest. I do like the idea of just throw all Nintendo stuff in there to try to create I've unlocked your secret recipe. No, not really.
Finally, the ultimate life form.
Xenoblade Chronicles X Ray from Disaster Day of Crisis, the ultimate life form.
Exactly. Yeah, I think one thing I could actually see them doing is using it for another version of Mii's. Like they would know
call them use
your game history or something, and give you hints or something like that based on your game, on what you're doing in your game. They seem to love doing that, right? Like, they love having some sort of hint system. So why not use AI for that based on what you're doing in the game at the time?
Yeah, like they're not making progress. Let's give some suggestions on how they can solve the problem that's in front of them.
Yep.
We have seen Nintendo use like Mario Party art assets to plaster on like branded food items, right?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's been a thing. Maybe they try to avoid doing that in the future, and so they use procedurally generated art to kind of fuse their character art with, I don't know, Chef Boyardee
Kellogg's
art or Kellogg's or whatever. And so we get like a Marioized Chef Boyardee. Is that a thing in the US or is that just a Canadian brand?
No, it's a thing.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
in the US, yep.
Yeah, so something like that. And of course it's horrific, but Nintendo goes ahead anyway.
I like the idea of letting the AI run the merch shop.
Why
Just
not?
fuck it.
What it's like? Is it or like what? Like have the new version of Rusty's Real Deal Baseball be run by AI?
Yeah, no, I meant like all of the merchandising team is just AI. Like even when they decide what objects they're going to make, it's like, no, I mean,
yeah. And with the art, like, can they be more? Can the AI be more off model than Hudson? I don't think so.
No.
Mario with 6 fingers.
Algos. I mean, Five Fingers is off model too.
You're right.
Algo says we got to put Mario on more chainsaws and vibrators. So that's what we're gonna do. The Algo is never wrong. The Algo is never wrong. So it's Mario's face on both of these types of products. You can figure out how they're laid out accordingly. I will not make this the title because I will not be able to put an image on the site for it. I imagine the chainsaw one. It's coming out of his nose, so it looks like he's a saw face. For the sexual health product, I'll leave that to your imagination, your nightmare imagination. Have fun with that. The algorithm says we need to put Mario's face on more diuretic products. So there it is, right there on the cover. You need to take a piss? Drink this.
Yeah, it'll replace Super Mario Galaxy with Super Mario Laxative.
Look, he is a plumber. He's helping your plumbing flow better. There, we did it. I got it. I did it. The marketing bot is defeated. I am the true marketing bot. Send me your terrible pitches. I will put together a marketing pitch for it. Let's do it. That's a new email topic. That's rfn@10yearoldreport.com. You can't beat this. This is untapped but uncontrollable marketing prowess in this head. I'll make it work. It's all about confidence. Just about confidence. You just gotta go. The audience is gonna love this. And everybody's like, this ad doesn't make any fucking sense. And it's like, no, they'll love it. And then, well, I guess they'll love it. And if nobody checks behind you, you were always right. Just remember that, kids. Never let anyone but you check behind you. Because then you don't have to actually do a good job. And that's the important part. Lessons from Radio Free Nintendo. All right, so Syrenne sent me something, and she wants you all to react to it live.
Okay.
I've already seen it, so I can't do that.
Oh, you're posting it on the Skype.
I am. I'm gonna use this famously visual podcasting medium.
I'm ready.
Actually, I'm gonna post an image first, and I'll let y'all describe it, and then I will post the whole thing.
An infant bodysuit. Interesting.
Yep. We just called those jumpers when I was around kids, but okay.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, a jumper.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is Pichu. This is a Pichu jumper.
Yeah, with thought bubbles. Yes.
Okay.
It seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's called the Bond Point X Pokemon : Monopoke Boris Bodysuit - Infant.
Let me guess. Is it like $1,000 or something?
It's $180.
$180. Yeah. It's
for a thing that will be shit and puked on in the first 8 seconds.
Yeah. It's as soon as it was like I felt like, wow, this seems to be a high-end brand. So, yeah.
Let me read you the description as my voice slowly fades into oblivion. Welcome into the Pokemon world. This world is wondrous and new for tiny trainers. Dress for them. Wait. No, I'm reading this right. Dress for them for their first adventures in Boris! ! That's a real sentence somebody wrote trying to sell a $180 future shit bag.
Okay, but like I'm on the Bon Point website right now, and literally all their stuff is this price range.
Oh, I know, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, you could dress your kid up in a plastic sack. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. But anyway, thoughtful details from cotton fabric that's gentle. What? You don't get to call cotton a thoughtful detail. Most clothes are cotton. Dreamy sweet Pikachu print. These infuse this bodysuit with comfort and cuteness. Oh, boy. Heirloom quality craftsmanship and spirit of I want you to read this sentence for me. I will paste it in the chat.
Okay. Sorry, I was on the French website of Bon Point Vintage. Their second-hand options. So,
oh my god!
Yeah, so thankfully, if you think that this onesie is too expensive, maybe you can get a used one.
You should not buy secondhand onesies.
Yeah.
Made in Portugal.
All right, so this special collection unites the joy of Pokemon with bon points, heirloom quality, craftsmanship, and spirit of savoir-faire.
So, what could you describe the spirit of savoir-faire for the rest of us?
The spirit of savoir-faire. This just words out.
Did they just take a French phrase and put the spirit of in front of it and call it a day?
Sure, because savoir-faire is like know-how, like know how to do. Yeah, it's know-how. That's all it is. But their spirit of know-how, craftsmanship and spirit of know-how. That's literally the same thing, kind of.
It's a spirit of craftsmanship, not the actual craftsmanship.
Right.
All right, care instructions. This is dumb as shit. All right. Care instructions, machine wash, 30 degrees Celsius inside out, moderate program. Moderate program.
Well, at least it goes in the wash. Like, I was fully expecting you to tell us, you have to wash it by hand. Okay.
But, I take the call the moderate program, not like medium intensity or anything. Like, this is machine translated as fuck. Machine wash, 30 degrees C was similar. We already discussed this, but okay, thank you. Do not soak.
Right.
Okay. Reshape while damp. Cool iron on reverse. What the fuck? All right.
Yeah, it's machine translated. The reverse, like inside out. You iron it inside out.
I just like reshape while damp.
Sure.
It's a great phrase.
It's useful in so many situations.
I often remember kids, if it's a sticky situation, reshape while damp. I just can't
Man, some of this stuff it's just so
stupid.
I feel like some of these companies, they put this stuff out there, and you see this with Louis Vuitton or some of these brands where
Hermes.
Yeah, like you put stuff out there, and I swear to God, it's just being put out there, and you're just like, let's see if people are gonna buy this shit. You know,
there is absolutely someone in the audience who just heard me drop Hermes and is shocked that I even know what that is.
Yeah,
and I respect that. That person might be my actual significant other. It's fine. You know what? You're right to be surprised.
You're
I know what that is.
You're a man of culture and refinement, James.
I only wear Hermes.
Only.
Exclusively.
I'm in the Louis Vuitton slum myself. Hey. Even
when it's not appropriate, I'm getting ready to have surgery. Like, so you really need to put the smock back. No. Cut me open like this. If I'm going to go out, this is how I'm going out.
I'm going out with Hermes on me.
Dressed like a fucking court jester. That's how I'm going out. Because Hermes looks like shit. All right. I'm pulling up another thing from this Bone Point collection. It is a T-shirt.
By the way, if you want to sell through their website your secondhand clothing, it has to be in perfect condition. It has to be perfectly clean and no tears or anything. So, good luck.
Babies, well known for taking care of their clothes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I have posted this T-shirt for infants. There's nothing else going on that T-shirt. It is $95. An infant's T-shirt.
Yeah, so it is a Pikachu kind of seemingly popping its head out of a child's belly, or maybe from basically where the pants are. Like, if you tuck this shirt in, it can look like you've got a Pikachu in your pants.
That's why it's $95. It's an expensive experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid to look at how much this line's polo hoodie costs. If a T-shirt for children costs $100. But don't buy this. I don't know that we have to tell our audience not to buy this. I don't think you're probably the target demo, but don't buy this.
Yeah, I feel like the people who will buy this are not the ones who have to take care of the fabric or anything. I don't think they're very concerned about keeping the clothes pristine to be able to resell them secondhand. They've got other people to take care of that stuff and to throw out whatever.
I just like that I can go, like, let's say I conceive a child, for the sake of argument. And
Okay.
I dress this child in a $120 romper with Pikachu on it. And I would tell my parents this, and they'd be like, "You fucking idiot. Why would you spend $120 on a romper they're going to outgrow in 2 months? You stupid moron." Which,
I mean,
yeah.
I do see a cardigan here with a hoodie that's 325 euros.
Great. Awesome. Definitely affordable. But I think the part that would really go is that once my child grew out of this romper in 6 weeks, I could then go on the Real and sell it because it's a brand name. Which I'd be like, yeah, I'm posting toddler clothes to the Real. Fuck it. Let's go. Holy shit. I don't like this. This makes me feel bad about a lot of things.
Mhm.
A lot of things.
Like not
Just-
being born into insane amount of money.
Yeah, why did my parents not dress me in designer fashion? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the little boy in this picture in that parka,
Mhm.
we would fucking have made fun of him endlessly wearing that shit.
Mhm.
He looks like he's wearing a shopping bag.
Yeah, but he's also got the look of a kid who, like, I'm better than you and I know it.
Yeah, but that's just to make fun of him worse.
You wouldn't have a
Like,
chance
the
to make fun of him, James, because he would have been in a private school.
Yeah. He's
I
got his
mean,
own 2 bodyguards around him at all times.
He'd be around the neighborhood. He'll get his.
We can get to him.
Oh,
We can get to that kid. We can get to that kid and his buffoonery of a jacket.
That jacket, it does look like it's an adult's jacket that they've cut to be the right length, but not have made the right, like, dimensions otherwise. It's so stupid looking. It's so stupid.
You know nothing about haute couture, James.
Well, all right. You know what I do know about? Physics. You know it's not great to have, like, a big open space at the bottom of your jacket because it's not going to be very warm, is it?
Yeah, I don't think that was the concern when they made it.
No. The concern was I'm going to make this kid... Look how big the fucking pockets are relative to the jacket. Look how fucking big those pockets are. I'm convinced this is an adult...
It's for a Switch.
This
That's right.
This is an adult jacket they just cut down to fit this kid. Those pockets are enormous. This is so stupid. That's where he sticks his stack of hundos so he can go buy a fucking t-shirt for one Benny Frank.
Someone thought, like, what if the Lynx makes a comeback? We need to have big pockets.
That's where the AC the battery pack goes.
Yeah.
God, this is terrible. What this? I'm upset and I don't like it. So I think that is our hint that this is the time to wrap it up because, like, I don't know that we're the people to talk about couture. I mean, we can certainly try. I just don't know that it's going to be something successful for us.
I can say the words. I can pronounce them.
Maybe I can talk about maybe Randy Couture or Logan Couture, but certainly not Haute Couture.
Nice.
Very proud of myself after that.
No, I understand it. No, you earned the right to take a bow on that fucking shit. I'm so mad.
I'm done.
I'm so mad. I'm trying to think of other brand names that are actually like. I mean, like you can get your inner fascist on with Hugo Boss. That's it. That's
Yeah.
where is my, like, highly Germanic clothing line for Pokemon? Like this very, like, straight lined jacket. camel hair with Pikachu's face on it for $1,800. I need that. Make that happen.
You need that German spirit of savoir-faire.
I don't know if they have that spirit. That spirit of ruthless efficiency. All right. Well, I think that will do it for us. You can send us your pitches for very expensive clothes that a child will definitely not puke on in under 30 seconds to rfn@nintendoworldreport.com. That is rfn@nintendoworldreport.com. This is normally the part of the show where I ask Greg what music he has, and then Greg would say, "Well, you see, I picked out music," but he kind of left it to me this week, and he bumped a thread that I had sent him some songs in to remind me that he had left it to me. He suggested a theme from the blank on the name of the add-on to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Future Redeemed, because it's the 1-year anniversary. But I went through the soundtrack trying to find one, and there's a lot of good stuff there, but there's nothing that really punched. I was like, I want to do that. And I feel like there's a pretty good chance we'll come back to those. So I wanted to do something that's definitely something that I would pick and nobody else. Like, it's going to be me, so I'm just going to do it. So what I went with, is Come Back to the World, which is from the Piano Collection Volume 2 of the Dot Hack series. So Dot Hack has a tremendous amount of music in it at this point. And every so often Namco Bandai will do these like music projects where they release a CD, because in Japan that's a thing you still do. And they have like different takes on the music from the series. And it's not got one composer. That series now has like 4 or 5 people who are associated as a major composer for different arcs in its time. And one of the things they did a collection of piano remixes. So one of those composers just remixed largely vocal tracks into piano melodies or piano songs. And they did 2 albums, 6 songs each. And it's really good. But Come Back to the World is an interesting one because it's the end theme from Dot Hack GU Last Recode Volume 4. So if you remember when I talked about Dot Hack Recode or GU Recode, originally the GU games there was only 3 of them, and it just kind of ends. The 4th one, the remakes introduced a 4th game, although it's much shorter. That sort of wraps everything up. And this is the credits theme that runs. It's a vocal track, and it's kind of somber. The piano one does a nice job using syncopation to hide the fact that it's really only got 2 melodies. And it's playing them against each other in a really kind of interesting way, where like it does theme and variation without actually varying the notes. Like the notes on the page, it's still like quarter note, 8th note, half note, and it's still the same actual notes. It's not like inflecting the key or anything like that. It might move what octave they're in, but it's doing things with syncopation to create variation. That actually works out really nicely, and it plays well. And there's like a 7 or 8 note chain that gets played really early in the song. Da 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 da. You'll hear it if you listen to that song. You'll hear it come up like 6 or 7 different ways, and it's kind of clever how many places they hide it in this piano remix. So I'm gonna go with that one. That whole album's great. In fact, I told Greg, like, you can really just pick anything from this album. This is just one I liked a lot. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us this week. So with that, bye everybody.
Bye.
Later.
Oh, that's right. There's only 3.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.